Therapy. My name's Will. Barrett, how we living?
We're doing okay, you know? Just in the final countdown, you know? Just anticipation building. Got that pit in my stomach that won't go away.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've been there. I'm just happy we're getting an episode off.
Yeah.
You know, I thought you might be a dad at this point.
I really could have been. I think we did all of the things to encourage a full-term pregnancy, such as listening to everybody tell us that the baby was going to come early. That was number one. Everybody was convinced that the baby was going to come at least 3 weeks early due to some family history stuff.
Okay.
We got we're packed. We were ready for the hospital. So that also, I feel like, like if you don't do that, then of course it's going to happen.
I never did. Not once.
So yeah, no. I do think it's just all TBD. It's just a waiting game now.
Well, I can't say this positively, but I have a little feeling that this might be our last episode before you hit that paternity leave.
It's definitely possible. But you know what? I mean, look, if I'm still around, if I'm still just coasting next Thursday, Friday, then maybe we can punch in one more, you know?
Well, Barrett, I tried to do some retail therapy-esque shopping on Tuesday.
Okay.
I did my best.
When you went to the Big Apple?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was going to hit some shops that I didn't get to stop into last time I was there. And unfortunately, a 13-hour plane delay caused me to miss my nice little afternoon in New York before hitting the work trail the next day.
It seemed like you had a rough spot of travel the last couple of days. Is that accurate?
If you ever have an idea, and you're like, it'd be really fun to do. What if we spent the next 28 hours in an airplane at an airport or an airport hotel? Don't book that trip. Don't do it. I just would not recommend it.
Yeah.
I did get to stay because of all of our travel woes over the last couple of days. I did get to stay at the TWA hotel.
Okay.
At JFK.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with this hotel?
I can't say that I am.
It's like 5 years old.
Okay.
It's like I think it's a repurposed terminal of some sort. It's all done in very 50s, 60s Mad Men style.
Well, because TWA is an airline that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. And so it's all based off of that. And every little touch is 50s and 60s. If you're going to get stranded at an airport and stay at the hotel at the airport, I don't really see a scenario that's much better than this. And so that was kind of fun to do.
Okay.
Getting in at 1 a.m. was not fun to do.
Did you miss your dinner with friends?
I did.
Oh,
I did. Yeah. Yeah. We ended up arriving at midnight.
Okay.
By the time we got to the hotel, it was 1 a.m. By the time I went to sleep, it was 2 a.m.
Okay.
So yeah, my nice little,
and then you were
lower Manhattan day.
Back the next day?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got back at nine last night. 9 last night.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So the flight out there was 13 hours delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sick. Very sick.
Shouts Delta. You'll be hearing from my wife.
Man.
I'll take those free miles that you're going to give us and nothing more, but that's fine.
Well,
but I mean, I'm not too bummed over it because it was a work trip.
It was a work
first
trip.
And foremost.
Right.
So therefore, I am just thankful that this wasn't like an actual vacation and that I didn't have like kids with me the entire time because I think we would have just abandoned ship and been like, I'm not going to sit here with kids for this long. But I was a little bummed, man.
Did you fulfill your job related duties?
Not only did I fulfill it, I crushed it.
Okay.
The best thing ever was that we were meeting up with the people from JetBlue. And because I did not fly JetBlue there, as it's not a huge hub in Austin.
Right.
I flew Delta. And so showing up just pissed off at Delta just meant like, all right, guys, you got me at the right time. I think we should go shoot some stuff on this airplane.
Yeah, okay.
And so they ended up getting a good little deal. I like that we're twinning today.
Yeah, we are. We're very much twinning. Not planned, no boys text about what to wear for, well, I'll just say it's the Summer In and Out episode.
Big episode. I don't think we should waste much time here, Barrett.
We probably should. But we are both wearing, if you're not watching on YouTube, which you should, we're both gray top, light khaki bottom boys today?
Yeah.
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 Yep. I actually legitimately almost wore a hat that is that
hat?
color blue today that I got in the mail yesterday.
Okay.
And I decided against it.
Yeah.
But you and I would have truly been on another level right now.
Very twinning. Yeah. Yeah. So we thought for my potential send off that we should knock out an in and out.
It was time.
Summer 2025. I think we kind of skipped spring, right?
Maybe a little.
Which honestly I think is good. I think it's fine.
I'm okay with that.
I kind of feel like maybe this is like a 3 time a year thing.
I'm okay with that.
Instead of a 4 time.
Spring and summer to me kind of bleed together when it comes to what's in and out. It's all kind of the same wave. Whereas fall is like a decided difference, and then like winter
and then we kind of have our end
too.
of year.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we don't have to waste much time. Do you want me to pop these bad boys up on the screen? While
you're popping them up on the screen, let me speak to our friends over at Shopify real quick.
Okay.
Put up a little Instagram story today. We're recording on Thursday. You're hearing this on Sunday or after, where I put up a little Instagram story that's selling a zine. Got some new postcards in that I'm going to be including in some zines. And we're selling all this directly through Shopify. So if you're asking yourself, why should I go with Shopify? There's other places out there. We use it. If we're using it, and we've been using it before Shopify was our partner on this, you just know that we like it.
We have retail in the name of our podcast.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We know retail.
We're picky.
Yeah.
We're picky people. I can kind of tell now when a website is a Shopify website when I'm checking out, and I know that it's going to be the easiest checkout process ever. If you're trying to convert, you're going to convert the best with Shopify. Go make that happen. There's so many different ways to check out: Apple Pay, Shop App, which I now know how to use.
Yeah.
Not to brag. They're telling me I got to use my $2.13 before it expires.
I know. Yeah.
It still makes it just so easy. But whether you're just building a store, whether you're trying to sell a product, whether you're trying to do pretty much anything, from fulfilling orders to listing products to categorizing things to designing the site. It's all just so easy. You don't even need to learn how to code. You just don't. Go check out our friends over at Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/scaries, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/scaries to upgrade your selling today. Again, shopify.com/scaries. Where shall we begin?
I mean, here they are, Will. Here they are in all their glory.
You got some long ones on here, my guy.
I do.
If you're watching on YouTube, Barrett's is the blacklist, mine's the whitelist.
Yeah.
We're perusing for the first time.
Yeah.
Usually we don't exchange lists beforehand, and that's intentional. I'm looking now, trying to see any similarities.
There's a little bit of an overlap. There's a little bit of an overlap on one of these, but I don't want to start on it because I don't want to bring the vibes down to begin. You know what I mean?
Okay.
What are you feeling most confident about? What's like at the top? What's the one that you wrote down and you were just like, I can't wait to talk about this?
Park sweatshirts. Let's do it. Yeah, because that's a big thing right now. After every single delay we had in the airport, I had more than enough time to people watch. When we showed up at the airport, I already thought the park sweaters were going to make it on my list regardless. But like the reason that I say that it's the one that I need to talk about the most is because I cannot believe how rampant these are.
Really? I don't think I've seen one in person yet.
PARKE. Go to the airport, Barrett. PARKE. These sweatshirts are everywhere. They look like your classic varsity style. Sunday Scaries has a varsity sweatshirt that just says Scaries on it. And it's very similar to that. Waiting in line at TSA, directly behind a girl with one draped over her shoulders. After that, I noticed them literally everywhere. Oh, there's another park sweatshirt. Oh, there's another park sweatshirt. All I know about this park individual is that she is apparently engaged or married to a billionaire, and that she's doing absolute numbers in the sweatshirt game with these park sweatshirts.
Yes. I think that The Cut has written an article about these. I am well aware of their popularity. This looks like she's slinging these so easily and so quickly that she's just using CADs. She's just using Illustrator CADs to pop out. She's not even taking photos of the current ones that are maybe for pre-sale. But yeah, just a quick scroll on her website shows that anything with the giant park across it is all sold out. I cannot look. I don't know what exactly happens. Sometimes you just kind of like catch lightning in a bottle.
I think it's one college girl got one, and then the rest of them thought it was sick,
and then it's suddenly like an absolute must-have item.
The word park, obviously, like grassy, chill, whatever. Putting an E at the end of it, I think like zhuzhes it up a little bit.
Isn't that her name though?
I know, but I think it makes it easier to wear when it's like, oh, it's like parquet almost.
Right.
Park.
Yeah.
But like, I don't really care that these are popular, but I'm shocked by how in they are right now, just because it's so basic. All the girls wearing them were like good looking sorority age girls. Sure. You know what I mean? Like it was a very typical person that you saw wearing them, and they're just out there. I don't see myself buying one. I'll say this, ladies, this is kind of like an aloe hat. If you see a guy wearing a Park sweatshirt, he is a fuckboy. He will ruin your life. If they start trying to commandeer this, we're going to have a problem.
There is I'll mention, just since we're on it, there's an influencer, not an influencer. There is a content creator, an
online personality
that pops up on my feed, typically on my explore page on Instagram. And I'm not totally sure how to feel about her.
Okay.
She is what I would call, she's a fashion investigative journalist.
Okay.
But she's giving Diet Prada a little bit because I think she's taking it a little bit too far, because her whole thing is that she takes a brand like Park and she analyzes everything that the people behind Park make, and she's seeing little, because all of these people that are doing these brands like this, they love to show the behind the scenes and how designery they are, and like color palettes and little tech packs and CAD sheets and all that type of stuff. So she picks these apart and she figures out where they're manufacturing their goods. And she's mostly targeting brands that like claim to have some level of sustainability. And then she's basically exposing them for using like generic Alibaba vendors.
Is this person offering to bring their production stateside?
She is not. No.
For a fee?
It's one of the things that I don't that I kind of have a bone to pick with her, is that she's not highlighting any alternatives or any brands that are doing sustainability well. It seems a little bit vindictive. She's just basically going after influencer brands like Dairy Boy and Park and others, and claiming to kind of have exposed them for not using, the best factories that are doing fair living wages and fair trade and all this type of stuff. I'm kind of stumbling over my words.
No, I get what you're saying.
But do you see what I'm saying?
I became sour on Diet Prada once Diet Prada was clearly just there to poke holes and cause drama.
Yeah.
Once I realized that it was too negative skewing for me. When it comes to like people online selling product, I don't think that every content creator who just wants to sell a sweatshirt is beholden to the sustainability standards that everyone else is held to. I just don't think that if you're buying 200 of a sweatshirt to sell to your following just to like pay your bills that month, I'm not going to blame you for doing something overseas I don't know. It's just not something that I'm like going to harp on somebody for. I think it's the corporations that are producing thousands upon thousands of SKUs that are the ones who need to be held accountable. And so doing it to people that are just, trying to take their side hustle to their main gig, I'm like, that just seems, you're kind of just stunting their progress in life. And I'm sure that they'd like to produce everything better than they do, but it is what it is.
And she did this person did just go after Urban Outfitters. So she aims a little bit higher sometimes.
That's good.
I think she specifically, like here, I'm on a Park site or on a piece of Park's website that is advertising high quality classics that will live with you forever and ever. And then, when you dig into it, is like, is that actually true? Maybe, but maybe not. And so like, I kind of get what she's doing, by basically saying like, a lot of these influencer brands are selling you something that is maybe not completely true and accurate. But at the same time, it's like, I don't expect these brands to be pumping out, artisanal level quality. Like it's a branded sweatshirt.
They don't even have the capability. A lot of those people don't even have the capability to do it.
The only reason I bring that up is because, I've never felt one of these. I've never felt any of Park stuff. So I don't have a good idea of like the quality that you're getting for your.
They looked normal.
Yeah.
I wasn't astounded, but I didn't look at them and think these look cheap.
Yeah. But it's $100 for the hoodie, right? Like she's not charging $350.
Yeah.
So under 30.
Well,
so I realize that's not inexpensive either. So
I hope that anyone listening right now starts to see these as much as I've been seeing them lately. Because it is the item of
the way the internet makes it sound. They are everywhere. So and it sounds like you're corroborating that.
I'm corroborating
that statement.
Hard.
So
hard. Give me one.
DM us. I'd love to know more about the park. If anybody has bought park, tell us about it.
Yeah, I'd like to know as well.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to the one that I felt really good about jotting down over the last couple of days. Well,
okay,
it's Pop Boy Summer. Now, producer Randy, he was just asking if it was going to be White Boy Summer, and sort of is my answer to Randy, because at least the two pop boys that I am specifically thinking about here, they are both white guys. So that's happening. Last year was very famously Brat Summer, Pop Girl Summer. We had Sabrina, we had Charlie, we had Chapel. Gaga was right behind them in the mix. Like
Addison
Rae. Like it was an absolute takeover from the pop girls. Mm-hmm. Have you heard MGK's new song "Cliché"?
No.
It is an absolute banger.
Okay.
It sort of sounds like AI made it.
Okay.
But it is going to be the song of the summer.
Okay.
It is an earworm. You will not be able to get it out of your head. It absolutely goes. It's like a mix of pop and pop punk. The video, he's doing like all these boy band dance moves. It's taking over TikTok. So that's MGK Cliché. Look out for that one. And then, have you heard of this song? I'm late on this, by the way. TikTokers don't come at me. I know I'm late on this. Have you heard the song Sally, When the Wine Runs Out by Role Model?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
I have.
Okay. So
also sounds like AI.
A little bit, but another app. I cannot stop playing this song.
I hate it. I absolutely hate the song, dude.
I love this song.
Sally, my wife, said to me, listen to this song. She put it on, and I said, I looked at her like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, and one of my first questions to her was, did you make this on AI? Like, I'm confused. Like, did you make this song? Like, what's going on? Yes, just yesterday, I was talking to the social media team over at JetBlue, and someone played the song and was like, have you heard this song? And I was sitting there, and Sally lit up and was like, yeah, we know that song. And they asked me my opinion, and I was like, I'll be honest, guys, it sounds like AI to me, and I don't like it.
I think it's an absolute, I think it's a totally perfect pop song.
I need to give it a second chance.
It does, like, I think knowing a Sally helps. This, like, and I don't know, it's not exactly like, I don't know, the song kind of has the vibe of your Sally.
I've been listening to a lot of Lay Down Sally because my wife likes to take naps. And so I've just been playing it all the time. And she's been playing this, and I guess I got to lean in more.
So Role Model, Role Model is the name of the artist, but he is just one guy.
Okay.
And I think he's dating Emma Chamberlain.
Oh. And
like this song has been all over TikTok for, I think honestly, I think 2.5 or 3 months now. I'm very late on this. His small venue shows are selling out, and like there's this bridge of the song, and at every show he pulls a quote unquote a Sally from the audience, and they come up and dance on stage. He performed this song on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and Bowen Yang came out as the Sally. Role Model was wearing an Our Legacy cardigan, and then Bowen came out in an MF Pen shirt, so it was very very fashiony.
Was this a late skit?
No, this was, the music act is always at the end. Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon, not SNL.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah,
I
threw you with the Bowen thing.
I was like, I should have been there.
Bowen came out and danced on stage and did the bit where like an audience member comes up and dances to this specific part of the song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were both wearing clothes that I recognized as being from Our Legacy and MF Pen. So it was a very like,
the fashion boys are bopping.
The fashion boys were bopping. And I'm waiting for, like, where's my guy Harry Styles? I'd love an album to really solidify Pop Boy Summer.
I've been seeing pop photos of him, paparazzi.
Yeah.
Who knows if he's sicking those guys out there being like, get me out there a little bit right now. I'm about to go crazy. There were rumors of him doing a Sphere residency.
Really?
It sounded like it was a done deal.
Wow.
And then Sphere came out and said, it's absolutely not a done deal.
Okay.
It's not happening right now. And I think that would be a great one.
But yeah, Sally When the Wine Runs Out and Cliché by MGK are two leading candidates for Song of the Summer. And I'm just like, Pop Boys, give it to me, man.
So this is only good news for Benson Boone.
It's very good news for Benson Boone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll throw a pop boy out there that might be making a resurgence. T-Pain.
Okay.
He just him and Jack in a Box just doing a deal, and he has a new song with Kesha. Yippee Ki-Yay. If you've heard that could be a song of the summer. It's I've
not heard it.
And she's got a new album coming out July 4th. So I'm thinking we could see a little T-Pain. He's going to be at Zilker.
I like how specifically you know when Kesha's album is coming out.
Well, I just looked it up because this song came out like recently when we were listening to it, and I saw that she has a new album coming out 4th of July. So we'll see.
I think we need some of these pop boys to band together and do a little. Like all the Brat performers were like on stage together and like touring and doing stuff. Right, I think we need to have like a little like NSYNC Backstreet Boys like kind of remake.
Yeah. Another guy. Have you heard of this artist Somber?
No. I haven't heard of anybody right now.
I think this is another one. I think Somber is a one-man act who's got like 4 songs that I can't stop that just are like playing over and over and over again.
Is it spelled like SOMBR or something?
It's SOMBR. You got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh man. Look, I'm pulling up Top 50 USA right now on Spotify, and I've got Morgan Wallen, Alex Warren, Somber, Morgan Wallen.
Stop.
And if you want to call Morgan Wallen country, sure, fine, but it's pop. It's also pop.
That new Jelly Roll song that sounds like "Wake Me Up" by Avicii. That's going to be a big song this summer too.
There we go. So. See, this is. Will, get ready. Get ready.
Come on. We need to back off a little bit of these pop country songs. Just a little bit.
The men, they're here. They're going to do their thing this summer. Just you watch.
Well, I miss Brat Summer already. Should we talk food or drink for a few?
Yeah.
Let's start with drink.
Okay.
Let's start with drink. On my in list alone, I have bruised martinis.
Okay.
THC drinks and white wine. I'm going to start with bruised martinis.
Okay.
I don't want a martini if it ain't bruised right now.
Do you want me to? So look, I have two drinks on my in as well.
Yeah.
So let me just pop those up here as well. I have Spritz Season. I'm going to pull this up for reference in a moment. And then I've got frozen bevies as well. So
those are year round. I don't know what you're talking about.
Those are year round for Randy. But go ahead with bruised martinis, Will. I don't even know if I know what that is.
It's just it's the ice on the pond, baby. Got those little flecks of ice on there. I want the bartenders working extra hard this hot summer, and I want them shaking these martinis for a little bit longer so I can get those little flecks on top and I can feel them on my tongue.
When we went to Jeffrey's for my little mini bachelor the other week, that martini had a little frozen glass on top. That was nice.
It's easy to do.
Yeah.
All you got to do is shake it longer. Shake it as long as you can. Okay. Tire those arms out. Maybe it's big arm summer. But like, I just think it's like my favorite way to enjoy one right now. It wouldn't be an outlist if I didn't have some variation of martini going on here.
That's true.
THC drinks.
Okay.
In Texas, they're about to be banned, completely,
Yeah.
which is really sick. Shout out to Dan Patrick, the world's biggest chud.
In September, though, so we got the whole summer.
Yeah, we do have the summer. Maybe it's going to be even more this summer.
THC drink summer, I guess. Yeah. This is a perfect placement for.
I just see them popping up everywhere, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I actually think it's a great idea. Whether it's spirits at the natural grocery store, like they have tequila that's got THC, and I mean 0% tequila that's got THC, but just replicating cocktails. But even more, just like the little canned drinks that are little kind of nice little hitters. I'm seeing them everywhere. I'm seeing people drinking them. I'm seeing people pivot to them instead of having another cocktail.
Yeah.
I just think I think these are only going to get more popular, except for in Texas, where again, Dan Patrick can go fuck himself.
Have you experimented with these?
I have.
Yeah. I mean, are you enjoying?
I am.
Yeah.
I don't drink them often. We have like a stack of can drinks, CANN.
Okay.
If you understand the double entendre there, cannabis. Yeah, got it. Now it's gone. We have some of those at our place, and they're good.
Do they taste like weed?
No.
Okay.
The cans don't. But I don't really want to ingest it that way. Like it just is. I don't like fizzy drinks in general, so that's not the way that I would usually do it.
You are not a sparkling water boy.
No.
Yeah.
Under no circumstances do I ever want sparkling water. It's just not something that
Except
I want.
for maybe in a spritz.
The only things that are fizzy at this point that I want to drink are the lightest of light beers, Mexican beers, and a spritz.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I'm pretty, and a ginger ale every once in a while.
Okay.
Outside of that, I'm good. But shout out to Can. Big shout out to Can. I like their little guys. And then the other one I had was just white wine. Yeah. I think we're done with natty wines. I think we're done with these orange wines. I think we're done with whatever. I think people are going to return to their roots and just start going white again. I'm returning to my roots and I'm going white again.
I feel like we've had white wine on the in list for maybe the last 3 times in some form, in some variation.
You know what, Barrett? We had them. We had them in Q1 of 2023.
Okay.
We also had it. Hold on. I also had it last summer.
Yeah. So white wines, they're just staying in.
They're coasting. I don't think they were ever actually that much more in than anything last summer. I think that it might have gotten delayed to 2025. I think people were drinking them, but I still think that like a light red or rosé and stuff like that was still more at the tip of people's tongues. But like, let's get out there.
Yeah.
Let's have a little light white and talk it out. Let's get our Chablis on.
Yeah. Chablis, maybe a Sancerre. Always hit him with the classic Sauvignon Blanc. Never afraid of that.
I'm never afraid of a Sauvignon Blanc, my friend.
I just this past Sunday, I went to pub night at June's, local and longtime favorite June's. And I had a spritz, a Hugo spritz. And then I ordered on Sundays, they do 50% off what they call baseball bats, which are just any wine that comes in that shape that looks like a baseball bat. So I ordered a bottle and then took the rest home. And I ended up with a German Riesling, I believe, which a lot of times you think of Riesling as a very like sweet dessert wine, but they actually can be like super complex and great for pairing with food as well. So this one had a lot of minerality and drank, much different than the Riesling that you might have in your mind. So I'm all aboard the white wine train once again this summer. The reason I put just Spritz season on here is because I was very taken with this graphic in the June's seasonal wine zine, where they just were illustrating all of these kind of like low ABV and spritz cocktails. And it just made me think like, why do I have to choose one? Why do I have to only highlight Hugo Spritz? I want to try all of these. I want a Spanish gin and tonic. I want a Cardamaro Spagliato. I definitely want a Suze Americano, which is basically an Americano is kind of like it's a Negroni with no gin.
Yeah.
This is a white Negroni with no gin.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I've been drinking Americanos like crazy this spring, Barrett.
Yeah. So
it's my only cocktail.
This just replaces the vermouth and the Campari, right?
If you're talking white Negroni, I don't know.
I'm talking what's in the Americano? It's Campari, right?
It's just sweet vermouth and Campari.
Campari, that's what I'm saying. So instead of the vermouth and the Campari, it's the Suze and the Lillet Blanc, which is what you swap out from that's what you put into a Negroni instead of.
Okay. I would drink that
instead of the vermouth and the Campari.
I've just ordered glassware. What would you call that?
A highball?
Highball. I just ordered some highballs because the drinks that I'm making my little spritzes in, my Americanos in, etc., they're just not hitting. And so I decided it was time to get some highballs.
Or how about this? How about a Japanese ume spritz with choya, which I don't know what that is, lemon and soda. I mean, does that not sound delicious?
It sounds pretty delicious. Yeah. I would drink the red wine, Coke, and lime one at the far right there.
Moxto?
Yeah, I think I would do that.
Is that a common thing to have Coke and wine?
Yeah,
it's kind of been a new thing that's been bubbling up as like a TikTok trend and stuff. And so I'm not surprised to see it actually be like a real thing from Spain.
Is this Coca-Cola they're referring to make sure?
Yes.
I don't see any salt on the rim, so I think it's Coca-Cola.
Okay. It is Coca-Cola, Randy.
Yeah.
This is like a known commodity in out Spain way.
Much like I said, dirty martinis were out that one year. I'm not saying that spritzes are out, but branch out of your Aperol spritz. Branch out.
Or your Hugo.
Or your
I feel
Hugo.
like those are the two big ones right now.
Yeah. Have Hugos really hit the mainstream?
Okay. We actually talked about this, I think, last summer. when we were debating whether or not, Hugo Spritz could achieve drink of the summer status without being on menus kind of far and wide. It's one thing for them to be on West Village menus. It's another thing for them to like make their way down to Austin and
yeah. I still don't have confidence that I could go to any bar in Austin and order
and everywhere else. So now that I'm seeing a Hugo Spritz called out on a menu, and this is not the first place in Austin that I've seen it now. I feel like it's
okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I keep seeing them referenced, like now they're popping up on menus, so I feel like they are. Aperol is still absolutely the number one, no question.
Man, these white boys about to be speaking some Italian this summer.
Yeah, but yeah, Spritz season, and then frozen bevies. I think I may have overheard. Maybe I saw this on Reddit. Saw that Dylan, our man Dylan over from the Circling Back podcast, was getting called out for enjoying a frozen margarita over a rocks margarita.
Mm-hmm. And
I just vehemently disagree with that take, especially at a restaurant, like a rocks margarita is very, very finicky. If that is not just pure lime juice, a little bit of agave and a good tequila with maybe Cointreau or Grand Marnier, like it's not good. I get that sweet and sour mix out of here on a rocks margarita.
I think we need to differentiate some stuff here.
A frozen is like, that's easy, baby. That's going to hit almost no matter what. It just needs to be frozen. That's the biggest thing.
If you're at a Tex-Mex restaurant,
yeah,
I think it always has to be frozen at this point. Like you just know what you're getting. It's not going to be some like shitty tasting, whatever.
Right.
If I'm at like one of the high end places in town, let's say I'm at
La Piscina.
Yeah. Let's say I'm at ATX Cocina, like something like that, like a higher end place. Then I might get a rocks one.
Yeah.
But in general, I agree with the take that when it comes to margarita, frozen needs to reign supreme.
I also had a frozen rum punch at Kanji a few weeks back that was just absolute crushed.
There was a restaurant in Houston that used to do frozen rum and Cokes, man, and it was so good.
So I just, I'm just opening up my eyes to all sorts of spritzes and frozen bevies.
I'm fine with that. I'm not going to take that out of your hand. I'm not going to roast you for getting a frosé on a hot day.
I don't even know where Lil Easy is in ATX, but this also popped up on my feed, and I just
East Side.
It's on East Sierra Chavez. It's right by Donata.
You had any of these, Randy?
Yeah. We went there opening week, and it was quite delightful. They have a whole daiquiri alley, so they have like the regular bar, and then they have like on the side. You could just there's a little drive-through window where you could just order just the frozens.
Randy's just out there on the town hitting all the new spots, man.
Yeah. I was, I think I was invited to go to Lil Easy with Randy for opening, but I think I couldn't make it.
Yeah, it's a cool little spot.
Also like this hat. I like the orange striped brim.
Very Whataburger.
Oh, you just ruined it.
I'm still into it.
Damn it. Why'd you ruin that, Randy?
Will, do you mind if I segue to one of my outs?
No.
Piggybacking off of your in THC drinks?
Let me make sure that I don't have any outs that I need to talk about here. No cocktails are out this year for your boy.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a hobby horse of mine if you've listened to the podcast for the last year, 18 months. And I know that it's saying something about me, maybe more so than it's saying about others. But the sobriety crusade continues on social media, and I'm really I'm getting really, really tired of it because one of the things that people are not talking about when they are launching their new sober lifestyle and how amazing they feel is, one, what was their drinking like before they gave it up?
Mm-hmm.
Because what I keep seeing is people that pretty clearly are talking about binge drinking. Like that's what they were doing is they were going out, they were clubbing, they were staying out till 4 a.m. They were going out maybe multiple nights a week. They lived this really, party centric young lifestyle. And then they give up alcohol, typically replaced by THC, sometimes THC drinks, and probably a little mushrooms as well. And then they're like, I just feel so fucking amazing. Sobriety is the best thing ever. I have so much energy. I'm so much more creative. My sleep is so much better. Because you started smoking weed and doing mushrooms and instead of having 8 cocktails in one night.
Yeah. I mean,
so I had one 16-ounce can of beer from that I had in the fridge from Meanwhile last night. Did not affect my sleep whatsoever. I feel great today, as productive and creative as I would have been had I not had the drink. Like I different strokes for different folks. I get that. I'm happy for everybody that stopped drinking and feels way better about their life in general. But like, I need some more transparency around this, because I feel like most of the people that are having these massive lifestyle swings, talking about how they've never felt better, they've never slept better. I'm like, how much were you drinking?
The last hangover I had was after your dad's party.
Yes.
And outside of that, I haven't had many hangovers in 2025. And it's largely because I've done kind of what you're saying, is that I've replaced it with some THC or something at night. You know, if it's 9 p.m., I am more likely to eat a gummy or something than I am to go and make a drink. And that's just, it's just more comfortable for me, and a hangover's not worth it. But I kind of agree with you in that, like, you can just scale back the drinking. Or I'm not saying you should, or you can, or it's easy, whatever. But yeah, like, just because you don't have a hangover I'm struggling to how I want to say this. Not having a hangover doesn't mean that you've done something like incredible. You just pivoted. You just pivoted a little bit.
Right.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the pivot, as long as like you're not taking the next substance like to the level, like to the next level.
I am okay with the pivot as well. I just think it's a little bit like, it feels a little hypocritical.
It's like, you X'd out this like huge problem in your life and are trying to say like you found some hack or something. Like
I said, this is all about transparency for me with anybody out there that's broadcasting like their new quote unquote sober life.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone's gonna be truthful.
I need more information about how much you were drinking.
Mm-hmm.
What did you stop doing?
Yeah.
Because if it was like being out at the bar till 2 a.m. having 7 vodka sodas,
well, of course you're going to feel
then
right.
Of course your life is going to feel different and much better.
There's so many studies out there about the way that even a glass of wine can affect your sleep and blah, blah, blah. But I think you can let that get to you. And I think that if you start thinking that way and you're like feeling bad about having one glass of wine because it's going to affect your sleep, I think you're overthinking it a little bit. And as long as you're not taking the binge drinking to the point where you're getting hungover all the time, like I think people need to stop beating themselves up for having a few glasses of wine and doing whatever. I used to have the problem of that 3 glasses of wine would make me want to drink a whole next bottle of wine. Not in like some crazy way, but like I always just had trouble stopping, because when something makes you feel good, more seems like it'll make you feel better. But getting older, having kids, whatever, it made me just kind of realize like, all right, it's not sustainable anymore. It's fun, but it's not sustainable. So you need to scale back and pivot in a way.
I feel like the recognition that I was really able to make. And again, like I said, I know everybody is different, so I don't want to poo-poo anybody's lifestyle choices. That's not what I'm.
Don't poo-poo them, man.
That's not what I'm trying to do. But my recognition that first drink that you have in an evening is really the peak. Like that's the one that tastes and feels amazing, and then like a second one is pretty good too. But beyond that, the returns are incredibly diminishing, and that's when you start getting into the next day fog. And so if I have more than 2 drinks, I feel very, I know the sacrifice that I'm making. I know what I am doing to my sleep or next day productivity and potential for a hangover, mild as it might be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's I like totally get it. A lot of people, Chrissy Teigen was just talking about this, right? She had a really speaking of transparency, she had a really transparent post about her struggle with alcohol and talked about that feeling of like, she can't just have one, like 1 becomes 7, like almost any time she goes for it, because of that feeling of what you're saying, where that you can sometimes experience, even if you don't have an issue, where you're like, this feels amazing. I want to keep going and going and going. That, you know, like who among us hasn't had that? But like,
I'm trying to reshape my relationship with any substance.
Yeah.
Whether it's coffee, whether it's alcohol, THC, mushrooms, like whatever. And to truly take what I'm doing and think, do I enjoy this? Is it something I want to keep doing? Or am I just doing this because it sounds fun and then I'm doing it? You know what I mean? And which is why I'm temporarily retired from any psilocybin and mushrooms right now.
Okay.
I had a night where I dabbled a little bit, and I thought it was a tiny dip into the pond, and suddenly I was like, yeah, Out of all the times I've ever done this, most of the time I feel this weird anxiety that I don't really enjoy, and I think I can officially retire from this because it's not making my experiences in life any better. And I kind of feel that way about getting hammered at this point too.
Yeah,
like it's the same feeling for me. Like I don't want to go out and have 12 drinks anymore. Like it just doesn't sound that fun to me. Right. But if you asked me that 10 years ago, I'm like, let's go out and have 10 drinks.
Definitely,
maybe 12.
Where do you want to go from here? I'll hop off. Let's do
food and drink. Let's do food and then drink. Let's do food. On my in list for food, I have shrimp cocktails.
All right.
I have nigiri, and I think that's it for that. On my out list for this, I'm out on bone marrow. I am out on non-coastal ceviche and slop salads.
Okay.
Sorry, Barrett.
No, I thought about the slop salad stuff. I'm not so enamored with it that I had to put it on my in list, but I did think about it. I thought about the slop of it all, Will, while I was eating my my sweet green for lunch today.
No, I hate sweet green. I hate them.
Okay, what is an alternative though? There's no healthy alternative lunch out there.
Make your own salad. Make your own damn salad. I don't know.
I usually have my own lunch, but on days that I need to go procure lunch for myself, that is typically, speaking of lifestyle stuff, like that's typically a bad investment in my health.
I don't want to see your sweet green on your Instagram story.
I know. Why would I do that? Why would I post my sweet green on my Instagram?
You can go eat your sweet green, but don't dick ride sweet green right now. I just don't want to hear it. No, I don't know. There's something about it. I just don't. I don't know. I'm just not into it. I haven't been into it since I got food poisoning, and I've had sweet green exactly one time since having food poisoning. And while eating it, I was just like, I don't want this. I don't want it. I want a higher standard for our restaurants out there. I want people not just throwing stuff in a bowl. I want people honing their craft and making dope stuff.
I do think I will say this. I think that Sweet Green's quality in the last year has fallen off a cliff.
Have they gone private equity yet?
I maybe something is different because it's not hitting quite the same. I will say that. But that's why I'm not putting slop bowls on my in list, because I had the same feeling. I was trying their new fancy KG barbecue one today. It's fine. It's getting the job done. It's sustenance.
Can I ask an ignorant question?
A what?
Ignorant question?
Yeah.
Is sweet green even healthy? Is it healthy?
Yeah.
Can it be unhealthy if you do it like decadently?
Sure.
Okay. I've always assumed that if I'm eating sweet green, it's probably better than eating a Chipotle bowl or something. But
definitely.
But I also I know that salads can get out of control quickly.
Yeah, and you can also on the other side of that coin, you can make conscious decisions to make a Chipotle burrito bowl much healthier.
You can
as well.
You can.
I think kava, which we talked about last week, I think that's where you really kind of start slipping into I think this might be 1,200 calorie bowl.
Yeah, that's my concern for those things.
Yeah. Okay. Out on bone marrow.
Bone marrow is disgusting. All these steakhouses and stuff are taking out flames and dripping it onto your plate.
Yeah.
It's too rich. It's really primal. It's every time I eat it, I wake up the next day and my stomach is just turning on itself. And I'm like, well, yeah, I ate the inside of a bone last night. And I'm very out on bone marrow right now. And we just talked about Dylan's take on frozen drinks.
Yeah.
I can speak for Dave right now. Dave is also out on bone marrow, and I think it has the same effect. But I think in certain cases, we're just taking this decadence a little too far.
Sure. Now, non-coastal ceviche. Can you give me an example of non-coastal ceviche?
If I'm eating ceviche right now,
you need to be on.
I need to be on the coast.
On the coast.
I need to be on the coast. Okay.
So even if fish comes from a coast. So to get,
you're saying you can't eat ceviche if you're in the Midwest?
Yes. Yeah. I think that's what he's saying.
I don't want ceviche from some random restaurant in Oklahoma right now.
Gotcha.
I don't care if it's fresh. I don't care whatever. But if you're getting it somewhere near the coast, I'm going to assume that it's fresher than if it gets shipped anywhere. And I've just been getting more weirded out by ceviche and being like, if I'm not in a scenario where ceviche makes sense, I'm probably not going to order that from the appetizer menu.
I sort of feel this way about oysters, by the way.
I get it.
I don't love ordering oysters in Austin.
I get it.
I will, especially if I feel like it's seasonally appropriate and I trust the place to bring them in from the right locations and keep it all cold and fresh and all that. But
this does change if it's a nice restaurant that prides themselves on fresh stuff.
But I do absolutely feel what you're saying here. Yeah.
I think ceviche has like risen in being a staple appetizer at a lot of restaurants in Austin and stuff. And I don't know. I'm not into it right now. What's the other ceviche adjacent raw fish food?
Shrimp cocktails.
Crudo?
No, see, I'm in on shrimp cocktails.
Crudo?
Yeah, like crudo. I'm still kind of
sushi.
What's like the tartar? Tuna tartar?
I mean, I've been out on tartar for a minute. I went tartar heavy for a while, and now that I had a realization. Unfortunately, I had the realization at June's, a retail therapy favorite restaurant.
Yeah,
ordered the tartar there. I've always loved it, and I just got done with it, and I was like, yeah, I'm good for a while, and I don't think I've ordered it in probably 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Tell us about some of your ins on the food. Nigiri, shrimp cocktail.
Shrimp cocktails be hitting lately, and I'm talking those big chunky shrimps.
Right.
I feel like people have been ordering them more lately, and I've also been saying, "What about the shrimp cocktail?" And like, I just feel like it's fun. I know it's hypocritical based on some other things on my list.
On your non-coastal ceviche,
as is my other in nigiri. But the nigiri for me is not talking about raw fish. It is more pitting nigiri against rolls.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm at the point in my life where if I'm at a sushi restaurant, I don't even want to entertain a roll. Get those rolls out of here. I just want a bunch of nigiri in front of me on white rice that I can just hammer 20 of.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I don't have any reasoning for this, but I would just much rather go that route.
Maybe your palate has just, matured.
I think I just like
you don't need a
white
bunch,
rice.
You don't need a bunch of tempura shrimp and to make sushi enjoyable for you.
I don't like seafood. I'm sorry.
I was going to say.
I don't like seaweed.
Seaweed. Okay. Yeah.
And so doing rolls at this point, like it's one of those things that has been, I used to be fine with it. And now the older I get, the less I enjoy seaweed. My son has started eating seaweed chips and stuff like that. And I'm like, you're disgusting. This is gross. It's just not for me. But I told Sally a while ago that if we're going to go out to a restaurant that serves sushi with a group of people, that I'm going to be bummed the entire time that we're ordering rolls and stuff, because I would much rather just go on a solo date and order as much nigiri as I want.
Now, but weren't you just telling me that you were on the seaweed diet?
What is that a thing going on right now?
You see weed and you smoke it.
Okay. That's so stupid. Shout out Dan Patrick, you fuck. That's so dumb. Oh. Did I have anything else on my food? Nah.
I don't think so.
No, I don't feel totally strongly about these. These are more personal preference right now than it is in or out. I know the hypocrisy is looming large.
All right. Should we hit some fashion?
Barrett, I would like to hit some fashion, but first, can we speak to our friends over at ZocDoc?
Of course.
Health
before wealth, baby.
When we need a new doctor, a lot of us just hop in the group chat. Hey, does anyone have a good primary care doctor? Do you have a dermatologist that I can use? I'm guilty of doing it. I'm too lazy to do the research myself. But I always end up finding out that the recommendation is either not in network, the office is too far, they're just absolutely slammed because they're great, whatever it is. But enter ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about booking in-network appointments with over 100,000 doctors across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, primary care to urgent care, and more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, are a good fit for any medical needs that you have. Also, they got hundreds of verified patient reviews. You can find the type of care and support that you're looking for, from good bedside manner to fast wait times to doctors with the best listening skills. As some of you may have known, former guest, current wife of mine, Sally, I heard her on the phone with somebody recently, and she was pleading to somebody to go to the doctor. And she said, please just go on ZocDoc and find somebody. And I thought to myself, if she's vouching for this as a healthcare professional, you should be able to trust it. Appointments made through ZocDoc also happen fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking. So you can even score same-day appointments. Here's the thing. I've used this product and you should too. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/scaries to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/scaries, ZocDoc.com/scaries. Let's talk fashion.
Let's do it.
You start.
Yeah. Okay. So on my in list, I've got polos. I have contrast stitching, and I have sandals. So let me just run through these.
Okay.
Polos. We've talked a lot about like the knit style polos, which I think are still very much like, out there doing their thing. And I really like those as an option. Now I'm just seeing, I feel like I'm seeing the return of PK polos as well.
Yeah.
I was just recently in the Gap where I tried on their like quote unquote oversized PK polo, which is really just more of like a relaxed fit. And I loved the way it looked on me. I feel like it's a really, really nice option for summer specifically when like, I feel like a lot of us are probably having like t-shirt fatigue a little bit, but maybe you don't necessarily. We've talked about how we don't really know where to go in like the button-up world at the moment. It feels like camp collars are kind of played out. A lot of the knit, the crochet.
Everything's knit.
We've seen all of that for several seasons now. So I really like the Humble Polo as an option.
I've been rocking the Humble Polo lately.
Yeah.
I feel like a dad when I'm doing it.
I am a dad.
Yep. But I do it in situations where I'm like, you know what? A dad would wear this right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to toss on this random polo.
And they're popping up from everywhere from your mall brands like Gap, J. Crew, Abercrombie, and I think Stussy maybe had a couple of PK polos.
But we're talking, I think we need to differentiate. We're not talking golf polos.
I'm not talking golf polos.
We're not talking golf polos.
No.
I stood in line at a restaurant the other day behind two dudes who were on their lunch break, clearly worked together. And they were both just sitting there rocking their Lulu ABC pants, country club polos tucked in, and some of the ugliest sneakers I've ever seen in my entire life. And I wanted to talk to them and be like, guys, we can get you on the straight and narrow. You don't have to wear this. Yeah. You don't have to wear this to the office every day. We can get you on something a little cooler.
They like
and
it.
It's probably cheaper than the country club polo that you paid $150 for. Like, we can make this work for you.
Yeah, but how will people know that they're in private equity or real estate if they're not wearing that outfit?
I'm going to tell you this. If you're in private equity and real estate and you look like you're not, you're the coolest dude in the office. You're the coolest one.
So I love your Masters polo. It's great. Congratulations on getting to go.
There's times to wear those.
Not talking to you specifically, just everybody out there.
No, but I know you love my Masters polo.
But I am not talking about a tech polo here. I'm not talking about a golf polo. I'm talking about your classic. Just start with the classic Ralph Lauren and work your way through what's happening.
It's been so hot in Austin that I've been wearing the Task bamboo polos.
Okay.
And I've been really enjoying them. I don't know how other people would feel about them, just because I think it's one of those things that I tried on once and was like, oh, this is great. And so I've been playing golf in them more. I've been wearing them around more just in casual stuff. And I've been enjoying them just because they're very breathable, very easy.
Sandals, I just feel like this is like the continued evolution of men's footwear, away from everything being a sneaker, towards more, dainty boy type stuff. And I'm liking all sorts of sandals, whether it's
those are a specific style that you're thinking of?
This is kind of all encompassing. Yes, I'm even including flip-flops here, although you are still not allowed to wear them with jeans. But I just anything that's kind of open toe. It can be fisherman. It can be like a strappy leather joint. It can be I've seen like kind of like stuff that looks stuff that's Huarache adjacent. There's a brand called Hereu, Hereu, that I really like. There's like kind of stuff with wider leather straps from Todd Snyder. Birkenstock Arizona's obviously fit into this mix. It just feels very, I don't know, like it. Somehow we got away from sandals in warm weather for a while,
Yeah.
But it's all back. I also feel like this is last year I could not get away from people on social talking about old money style, right? And fortunately, I'm not seeing as much of that anymore. But the long tail of that kind of like return to some some sort of preppy thing. And we've talked about how much we've enjoyed what Noah has put out this year. And I just think that is really bearing fruit this year with the polos and the sandals, and you've got pleats over here. So like all of that stuff is still very much happening.
I mean, can I pile on?
Please do.
I've got tennis sweaters in my ends. I'm seeing these on guys, seeing them on the ladies, seeing them on everyone. This can be a cardigan. This can be a cable knit deep V with some ribbed coloration. It can be anything. I think tennis has been on the rise for a couple of years now. I hear more people talking about going to the U.S. Open in New York.
I still don't have an invitation in my inbox, which I'm a little bit surprised about. So not sure what's happening out there, but
I've got a verbal invite that I don't think I can swing, which is pretty heartbreaking. Our good friends over at Heineken do some work with the U.S. Open, and I was told if you want it to happen, it can happen. And based on some other travel plans I have, I don't think it can happen.
Okay.
Devastating. I want to be courtside.
Yeah.
I don't want to be courtside at Madison Square Garden. I want to be courtside at a tennis match at a major. I'm kind of into them too. I don't see myself wearing them, but I if you're wearing one, just know that you're getting a nod of approval from me, and I'm into it. And so yeah, we'll see how that goes. I also had on my ends pleats. All the stuff I have on here kind of skews that prep kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
Pleats are just everywhere. I don't own any pleated stuff right now, and I just am kind of trying to wait to pull trig on the right thing. Ame Leon Dor does not have pants that fit me correctly, even though they've had some cool ones lately, but I will be buying a pair of either pleated shorts or pleated pants at some point this spring/summer. And the other thing I have on here is just shout out Seth Rogen, the double-breasted suits we talked about the other day.
Yeah.
I've been wanting one now after seeing every single suit that he had in the studio. It's one of those things where it's like the next suit I buy will be one. And I think they're cool. And I think it's a good way to wear something a little different than what everyone else is wearing at these weddings. I think it's a route that you shouldn't be afraid to take if you've been thinking about it. Do I have anything
else?
Oh, narrow shorts are out.
Narrow shorts out.
I don't want to see you in hugging shorts right now.
Right.
I think they're getting a little too wide in some scenarios.
Okay.
If I click on a pair of, men's streetwear adjacent shorts that are 6-inch inseam, and then I go to the photos of them on the model, it's always a little jarring to be like, oh, okay. Yeah, I can't. Those are a little wide for me. But just the narrow shorts are just not what. Yeah, they're not it right now.
Still very much agree. I toyed around with the idea of Buck Mason specifically on my end list. I decided against it because as many times as I've walked in there, as many things that I've liked from Buck Mason over the last year, 18 months, it's more their general vibe and overall business model that I'm impressed with, because I haven't actually bought much from them. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't bring myself to fully put them on.
I bought a pair of shorts from them last summer. I think you had maybe talked about these shorts specifically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I never wore them.
Really?
I hardly ever wear them. Maybe I need to give them another run this summer.
Was it the kind of like herringbone-ish pleated short?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, was it the deck short?
Maybe.
I bet it was that. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I just didn't fall in love with them like I thought I would.
They ran this Larson short last year. I put it on my wish list. They sold out of my size almost immediately. They were they kind of the color of the shorts you're wearing today, kind of that natural look, and they had like a herringbone stripe in them. I loved them. I thought they did so well that they might just bring back that exact model this year. They did not. This is the new version, which I did try on earlier this week. It's a lightweight seersucker. I really liked these as well. I want to buy a pair of these, but I do find that the seersucker is slightly less versatile than that kind of cotton herringbone would have been.
Yeah, I have a pair of seersuckers, and they're like the black ones that
your Todd Snyder ones.
I swagger jacked you on those, and I wear them a decent amount, but I don't wear them out. It's really it's really like, oh, we're gonna go on someone's boat. We're gonna go do something.
But I do like the Buck Mason shorts right now, and there definitely are some pleated variations on there. So
very noted.
Yeah.
You had, or hold on.
So I've covered all. Contrast stitching. This is something that like ebbs and flows. It happens, and then I think we all kind of get tired of it because we see it too much and disappears for a little while, and then it comes back. But I'm seeing it more, and every time I see it, I really I find it very eye catching, and it's something that I like. Here is a Bodhi jacket that is kind of like one of the examples that I've got right now. Show me that stitching. I like the way it looks. I'm seeing it on hats. I mentioned Stussy. I'll mention them again. Their new drop featured some hats with contrast stitching. Aries is another brand that's done some really cool hats with a white stitch. I'm feeling it.
Get you a Tony Shirtmaker's Custo with some contrast stitching.
That'd be nice.
Just do it.
Moving on to our outs. You already mentioned your narrow shorts. We each have sunglasses on our outs, a specific type of sunglasses.
I'm so over these Matrix glasses.
You've got Matrix glasses, and by that I think you must mean the tiny ones, right?
Just the ones that look like the Matrix. Yeah. I don't know. Like Kylie Jenner wears them all the time. Like I just don't think it's a good look. I think it falls in the man repeller category of that kind of thing. And I think there's some things that fall in that category that I think are fun and interesting. I just am so over the Matrix style sunglasses that I need them to go away.
I have aviator sunglasses on mine. Not that anybody was saying that they were in. I'm surprised at how much of an ick I find them at the moment.
Those are one of those things that it takes 10 years. They're really hot. No one wears them.
It's possible that maybe Biden just ruined them for like the next 10 years. Maybe he overused them.
That's not all he ruined, brother.
I have always had a take on aviator sunglasses.
What's your take, Randy?
I think that men, you can only really wear them. Like whenever I've worn them, it's been a bit like lifeguard thing. But like, if you are a first responder or in the military or you're a pilot, like that's the men can wear them. Or if you're riding a motorcycle, those like the only times that aviators look good on guys. It's who you are.
Tom Cruise has been doing in my press, and he's always wearing something that's like sort of aviator adjacent. I just don't like it. I think I don't know. I'm not into sunglasses with the nose pads, with like the little plastic nose pads at all.
I get it.
And all aviators have that. And
my dad has worn the exact same pair of aviators for his entire, since I was born. These things are crooked, but they fit his face perfectly.
Yeah.
Whatever. And he wears them, and he is aware that like these go in and out of style.
Yeah.
And he does not give a shit. I think if you're an old man, you're in the clear. If you're Joe Biden, you can wear them.
If
you're Joe Biden's age, you can wear them. But I think like when you're younger, I think it does just kind of skew in a weird direction. Like, I don't know.
And when every single time I've seen a woman wearing aviators, they always frame their face to make them look like they have a scowl on their face. If you ever look, it always looks like they're upset for some reason when they're wearing aviators. I don't know why. It just is a weird way.
Maybe they're mad at you.
I don't know. It just every single time you see someone wearing them, it just looks like they're like mean.
Sometimes I have trouble with certain sunglasses, just keep them on my nose. And so I end up scrunching my face to keep them there. And then suddenly I have a tension headache and I'm like, what am I doing? This is not how it's supposed to be.
Oh, well, I also have, I forgot about this one on my out. This attempted resurgence of skinny jeans. Thanks, but no thanks. Try again next year.
I had this conversation with Sally recently. She put on some jeans and she was like, are these too skinny? And I said, yeah, they are. And she was like, but I think they look kind of good. And I'm like, well, they're kind of chuggy. And I hate to break it to you, but you're at the age where, you might be chuggy. And so like, I don't want you to beat yourself up over that. So if you like how you look in them, then wear them. But like, if you're trying to look fashion forward, like you need to go with the other pair of jeans that's sitting on the chair over there. Whether guys, gals, anybody, I'm just not into anything skinny.
I'm mostly popped this on here because it's summer, and like that's one of the things that slim skinny pants were awful for is heat. Like you get yourself a nice big baggy pair of trousers going, you can tolerate more heat in those things.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you're a breezy boy. You're breathing
exactly.
So anyway,
exactly.
Where do you want to go next?
I'm going to go with one that I actually don't agree with, but the amount of people that I'm seeing talk about it is shocking to me.
Yeah.
ChatGPT therapy.
I don't know what that is. Is that people using therapy from ChatGPT?
Yeah. Just trauma dumping into ChatGPT.
Okay.
I've been adamantly against most AI things.
Yeah.
I do think that there is some value in things like ChatGPT, but like, I'm not into it. But like, I do Sunday confessions where I put up a link every Sunday on the Sunday Scaries Instagram story. People confess things totally anonymously. There's absolutely no way for me to see who submits it. And these submissions are full of people saying that they use ChatGPT as their therapist and that it's like their best friend now and stuff like that. It's a slippery slope. I understand it because it's free. It's you don't have to worry about actually speaking face to face with somebody about something, but it's just so rampant right now that I think it could become a problem in the future. But I kind of think that about all things that have to do with AI. Right, so it's just one of those things. But like, it is in. People are using it for that, whether I like it or not. Not my style. I have asked ChatGPT, like, I need to confront this situation. What's an angle I could take at it? And it's given me like good advice, but I'm also like, Will, you're not using your brain at all. Like, you're smooth braining right now, and you need to not be. You need to hone in and really think of what you want in life and not be told what you want by a server in California. I'm not talking restaurant.
Not some failed actress.
No, aspiring. Failed is when you move out of LA and become a waitress.
Oh man. Let's see. Will, Aging Gracefully. It's out. I don't know if you saw what Kris Jenner's plastic surgeon was just recently able to pull off. But she
got the Lohan, dude.
It's a modern miracle. No, this blows Lohan out of the water.
It's insane.
It's insane
how young she looks.
It is insane.
I don't want it myself, but I want to know exactly what they're doing. I want to know every step of the process just to see what they're doing to change the way that these people look.
These are unfiltered paparazzi photos. This is not her getting like a second crack at it with Lightroom or Photoshop. Like I don't know what type of facelift she had or how the technology's gotten so good, but what they did to her to get her ready for Lauren Sanchez, is that her? That's for her bachelorette party is nothing short of incredible.
Yeah, she looks like Kim now,
or Kendall.
Yeah,
look at this. Look at this.
It's bad. I went to go Google.
This is insane.
I went to go Google Kris Jenner age, and the first thing that came up was Kris Jenner new face. Yeah, it's like, a wild world.
I'm sorry, but this is better than Aging Gracefully. People got mad at me for putting plastic surgery on my in list at some point last year. So this is probably going to inflame them even more. But like, if given the choice, I'm taking that.
Aging Gracefully. I agree. If you've seen a recent photo, I mean, I think she's always looked very young, but like I saw a selfie with Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston in it, and both of them look younger than they did 2 years ago. Like a lot younger, which good for them.
How old is Kris Jenner?
69 years old.
Okay. Yeah.
My mom's, no offense to my mom. I love you, Mom, but your face doesn't look like the new Kris Jenner face.
Yeah.
Few do.
I'm still wrapping my head around this, honestly, and maybe I'll change my mind on it in the next couple of months. But this was incredible. This looks great.
More than anything, I want to know the pricing behind this.
This was $100K.
Easily $100K, right? I don't know. I don't know how much surgeries cost.
Did I tell you about the brochure that I got from Westlake Dermatology the last time I went?
No.
I was just, I was heeding the Sal Gal's advice. I was looking into like LaserMD and Fraxel and all that. So they handed me the brochure with the pricing for all of that type of stuff. And like on the other side of the pamphlet, they had the pricing for their most popular cosmetic surgeries. And so I was really surprised at honestly at how affordable a lot of the big ones have gotten.
Yeah.
Like breast augmentation is very affordable these days. Rhinoplasty is not that bad. An upper bleph is about $3,000. And a facelift was like 10 or 11 grand, but this is obviously a next level.
Yeah.
Like this is not just a regular ass facelift. At least I don't think it is. There was an Allure article when I Googled this that basically said Kris Jenner's new work is a testament to old school plastic surgery. So maybe it literally is just a facelift, but I don't
believe it.
I don't really believe that either.
It's not.
Yeah, Allure, one day ago. Kris Jenner's new face is a great case for keeping plastic surgery old school. Haven't gotten a chance to read it. I will. But yeah, that's one I got there.
The phrase "at mine." Does this ring a bell for you?
No,
at all?
It does not. No.
Sal and I started noticing this more during Love Island last year, UK specifically. Instead of saying like my house, oh, why don't you come over to my house? Why don't you come to mine? Oh yeah, back at mine. Mine. And I've heard it more. I've heard people using it more. And last night I was sitting down. I was watching a new show, Overcompensating.
Okay.
Benny Drama, a bunch of other rising stars. They've completely replaced anything with mine. Instead of saying, let's go back to my dorm. Yeah, no, do you want to go back to mine? And it's just, it's a thing. Okay. It's a small thing, but it's happening. And I feel like it's infiltrating my vernacular to the point where like I feel like I'm gonna say it. And it's just, I don't know. It's the first phrase in a while that I'm just seeing like really bubble up. That's not like Gen Z slang. That's kind of like a bit. It's
this
like
is good intel.
Actually
this is
using
good intel. Yeah. This is
and Overcompensating has such a quote unquote cool cast of like up and coming stars that I feel like when writing it, Benny Drama or whoever, I mean, I don't know if he exclusively wrote it, had someone help him, whatever. But like, I feel like it was a decision, like, or maybe it was just already in his vernacular so much that he did it. But I feel like because of the popularity of that show and everything, and I feel like it's just going to start infiltrating more to the American English side of things.
Speaking of shows, Will, also on my out list, 2+ years in between seasons of a show. It's got to stop.
You want the hacks model?
I want the hacks model.
Where a new season slaps you in the face?
I want the slow horses model. I want the bear model. I want the old school model. Like, it's insane that we're waiting 3 years in between seasons of Last of Us, Severance, House of the Dragon, whatever it might be.
Y'all had an excuse during COVID. You don't have that excuse anymore.
No, there's no excuse anymore. Like, you went and got fancy stars that have hard to deal with schedules. Like, but like,
it's why
there's going to be a backlash. Already I saw that that ratings for some of these second seasons that take this long are cut in half or worse. I mean, like, I don't care what it takes. It
killed Euphoria.
This is my note to Hollywood. Like, y'all got to cut this out.
Euphoria, they spent so much time between seasons that everyone got too famous and we're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
And one of the weird problems is that it seems like, okay, old school model of shows on networks, right? You got renewed at some point during the seasonal run, or at least right after, and then you went right back into filming, basically, so that it wasn't ready for the coming fall.
Yeah.
Now they're doing this weird thing where like a show airs and then it gets renewed. And then it's like, okay, we'll start filming again in 7 months. Like, what is happening?
Barrett, if you could only have it one way for the rest of your life, would you have shows drop every episode at once or do it over
week by week, 100%. Okay. I hate a binge drop. I hate it. I cannot believe the Bear is doing this again. And obviously the numbers prove me wrong. The numbers that...
I don't know I don't know the psychology behind it or the numbers behind it.
I promise you Netflix has some data that tells them that binge dropping is better than week to week.
Yeah.
They must. Otherwise that they would do week to week.
I would say that people are probably more likely to watch a second episode of a show if it's completely readily available to them, as opposed to getting into a show, waiting a week and being like, we started that, we never finished it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That's why I like the Disney Plus or Amazon model where they drop like the first 3.
I like that.
And then
Apple TV does that. I don't really have a feeling either way.
Yeah.
I think I don't think the Bear is going to be more successful if they serialize it or like if they do it weekly. I just don't. It's already really fucking successful. And so the people being like, oh, it'd be so much bigger. I don't think it would be that much bigger. I think it's still a very talked about show. It's very it's so in the zeitgeist when it comes to everything when it's out that I don't really believe that it'll help it that much. But at the same time, I like the suspense of waiting week to week, unless I'm trying to unless I'm really into something and I just want to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's a selfish thing because I like to be able to podcast about the shows, and that works better.
Oh, yeah, true.
That works better when we're going week to week.
Didn't think about that angle.
But yeah, I'm really tired of the multiple year wait in between seasons of television shows. Let's see. Will, tell me about your last in. Teak Walnut Interiors.
Did you go to New York City if you didn't post a photo of a napkin at Polo Bar? Does everyone want their place to start looking like a place like Polo Bar? Like an old den? Like
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I live in a house with all white walls right now.
Okay.
I rent this house. I have no desire to paint the walls or do anything. But if I could, I would darken this place up. I don't want the white walls. I want it to be a little cozier. We've talked about the nooks. We've talked about everything. And I just think that every single mood board is going to go from the clean look to just these like very library-ish interiors. You know, I'm not on the house hunt by any means, but I do enjoy spending time on Zillow and checking out the price of things surrounding me at all times, whether I'm in my city, a different city, wherever.
Sure.
And like the amount of mid-century modern homes that are popping up in Austin right now that are just beautifully done with these teak, dark walnut interiors are just so cool that I think 10 years ago, if you moved into one, you'd be like, we got to get rid of this wood. And now if you move into one, it's like, no, we need to preserve this side. And like, if we're going to do any work to this place, we got to keep this how it is, whatever. And my personal taste, like I want a cozy wood place. I want the Walton Goggins Architectural Digest home tour. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And I just think that like if people are building homes and like the further we get into like the home design side of things, I just think that people are going to be wanting that more than they currently do. And I just think it overall looks a little better.
Yeah.
Like I think we're over the
return of cozy.
Yeah. We're over the fig tree in the corner against a white wall and like a cool lamp.
Yeah.
Like I think that if that's your taste, then fine. But if you're just trying to be trendy and have like whatever, an Instagrammable place, like that's not going to play. People want that coziness, that return to cozy that you just said.
Yeah, I think places that look, that specific look, it feels very much like of a piece of like the whole like millennial branding thing where everything needed to be very minimal and very clean.
Yeah,
and that all became so popular that it lacked any personality.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is being imbued back into living spaces, especially is like, act like somebody lives here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like show me something that's personal to you rather than just this like very clean slate look.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like exactly. And like I've made an effort in my life to shift away from putting things on my walls that are store-bought and mass-produced. If I can find something cool that I can get framed myself, or if something's already cool and framed, then I'll put it up. But just like those little touches that are more you and not just like the cookie cutter Pinterest board kind of stuff. And so like, I just think that I don't think mid-century modern is necessarily in, but like if you can have a cool room in your house that is like wood, I just think you're going to preserve that more than you would 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't have any more ins right now, man. It's time to get in hater mode.
Okay, let me pop over because I've got a few ins to knock off here. I'm gonna combine a couple to talk about in one fell swoop.
Okay.
Owning a boat. Now, this is specifically owning a boat because everybody knows that you don't want to own a boat. You want friends with boats. You don't want to own a boat. You want to rent a boat. Maintenance is crazy. They fall apart all the time. They're a pain in the ass. But you know what's awesome? Having a boat.
I mean, having a boat would be sick.
You know what is you know what guarantees that you have a never-ending supply of friends and things to do? Having a boat. If you are somebody that ever had even a shred of a desire to be famous, but now you know that given your current circumstances and your job and whatever else, you're never going to be famous, get a boat. You'll feel famous.
True.
That's how much people will want to hang out with you and be your friend once you have that boat. It's a next level. It's better than having a fancy house. It's better than having a cool car. It is like it's the ultimate trump card. You will always be a popular person with lots of friends and fun things to do if you have a boat. And that's on period. Did I say that properly? Did I use that properly,
I'm
Randy?
not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was period with a T at the end.
Period. I wouldn't recommend anyone go out and buy a boat.
No, I think you should.
I think if you have the money, you should go do it, and you should just love it. But I don't think you should overextend yourself to go get a boat. I have no desire to own a boat unless I literally am retired and live on the water.
This, these lists are personal, and I can't tell you the last time that I got to go on a boat. I don't remember the last time I went on a boat.
Last 2 times I've been on a boat on Lake Austin, we have rented a boat.
Okay.
And I don't like doing that. It's not how I want to go about that.
But like it's the only thing to do here in the summer because
but even the times you want to go do it here, the lake is so busy now that it's like, do I really want to go out there and be a part of this mess?
Yeah.
I want to be weekday out there.
Mm. And piggybacking right off of that is tans. Just being tan. It's just that it. Again, I feel like that was sort of out maybe, but like it's definitely in. For me, it always has been.
I'm trying, man.
Nothing makes me feel better and more confident than having a tan, and I just think it looks amazing on everybody. I'm
really trying to get tan without being in the sun. Without getting burned, without spending a bunch of time laying out in the sun, things like that. And it's just harder than I ever thought.
Get you a spray tan, Hoss.
No, I don't want to do that either. I'm too lazy. It's just a pure laziness play. Like in order for me to get tan, I need to be doing 2 things at this point. Playing golf, gardening. No, the only ways I'm going to get tan now. Because if I'm sitting by a pool, I'm asking if there's an umbrella nearby. I'm sitting in the shade anywhere I can. I mean, I'm even parking my golf cart in the shade to wait for people to go hit. Like I'm a shade boy, and it's because I'm sick and tired of having things tested at my dermatologist. I'm really tired of hearing my dermatologist say, I think I'm going to take this.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm just sick of it.
It's hard to argue that one. Yeah.
But like one of the best pickup lines in life is just having a sick ass tan, and I miss that.
Now pair that with owning a boat and
it's over.
And it's over.
It's all over. And some pleated Dockers, dude. Like, I mean, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Did we go through all yours except for one?
I have 1 more in.
I have 3 more outs.
And I have 1 more. And I have 1 more out. What do you want to do?
Do you want me to say one of my outs?
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all know I've been in on film photography. I really enjoy it. I have truly outweighed my iPhone camera roll with film photos at this point. Like if I'm going on vacation, I'm probably returning with more film photos than I am on the camera roll. And that's not necessarily intentional, but it's something I like. And there was a part of me that was like, Emma Chamberlain, who we mentioned, like she's been doing a lot of vlogs on like an old school camcorder and stuff like that. For her, I think I think it's cool. I think it's interesting to watch on YouTube and stuff like that. But my fear is that people are going to take this return to old school from vinyl to film to whatever, and they're going to try to apply it to these camcorders. And people are going to be out here with 90s camcorders and putting up Instagram drops with like old footage, like old looking footage and stuff. And I can't get behind it. I'm already seeing it a little bit. And I just think it's kind of stupid. I think the iPhone diminished how good photography can look. Whereas when it comes to video, I think iPhone changed everything forever. And we don't need to be using shitty video for stuff. And I just simply don't think that there is a need to go back to the old school camcorder look for any reason other than pure nostalgia, which, I could make the case that nostalgia is worth doing it for. But I just think if you can take a nice high quality video of something, you should just do that instead of using one of the old camcorders. I think it's taken aesthetic too far in a direction that it doesn't need to be taken in. And like, I just don't want people to go out there and be buying $700 camcorders, vintage camcorders from their childhood so that they can have a different aesthetic on Instagram. I just think it's too far gone. In my opinion, like the film that I take looks better than what I would take with an iPhone. The depth of a landscape shot or something like that is just so much better in these film photos. Whereas a camcorder, there's no redeeming quality to it other than nostalgia to me. And so I'm just so out on them. And yet I'm seeing people walking around with them and I don't like it.
You're telling me that I should have kept my old school camcorder because I could have sold it for $700? I
don't know how much they're costing these days, but based on how much good film cameras are costing, I can imagine that because these camcorders require more tech that they might get up there faster, but I also haven't done any research, so I could be totally wrong on that.
Okay.
But I think it's just too much. I don't think we need to go that far. Okay, you can get like the old school, you can get them for like under $100. So maybe I'll scale back that a little bit.
Okay.
But like, I think some stylistic choices make sense, and I think in this case, you're just better off taking some HD video. But you're gonna check the Scaries feed a year from now, and there's gonna be a bunch of grainy ass footage from a trip I took. So I'm gonna be eating my words. But for me, it's just not. I'm not into it yet. But for some reason, I'm giving Emma Chamberlain a huge pass as the person who seems to be doing the best with this.
Okay. Well, some people, know their way around the tool.
She's doing it like in her apartment and stuff, not like going out and taking like, scenic things. And so I'm not into it. Not into it.
Okay. Let's see. I'll just knock out my out. My last out is the Nuvo Wellness to Maha pipeline.
Don't have to tell me twice. I've listened to too many podcasts about this.
I will try not to get overly political here. My request is that you just talk to and listen to your doctors. They've
been learning the wrong thing all along, man.
They're not out to get you. It's literally against the Hippocratic Oath. I understand skepticism of big pharma, but I promise you they are not making money off of giving babies vaccines. And just talk to your pediatricians, talk to your doctors, please. They know more than the influencers. They really do. I promise you they do.
This is a very big thing. I'm not going to be able to find the podcast. I listened to a podcast that really covered this at length and talked about how it goes from this hippy dippy thing to suddenly you're in that world.
When I was researching I was trying to do some in and out research, and I just searched the propaganda we're not falling for memes on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I had to close out within minutes because it was so much literal like Nuvo Wellness propaganda being repackaged and sold as like the propaganda that they're not falling for is basically just like medicine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
no, that's true.
Modern science.
True.
Not for this propaganda that they're not falling for. Like
true.
It was.
I believe in everyone's personal choice to do whatever the hell they want to their bodies. But when people are making a living off of these things and it's like network news to me. It's like network news. They will make stories, or they will come up with things solely because it is a business. And when it comes to these, what did you refer to it as? Like Maha pipeline, like it gets to a point where you need to consider the person telling you these things and say, is their career benefited by this new thing, this new whatever? And it's just it's a wild world, and it only gets wilder once you have a kid and people start trying to tell you what to do. Once you start seeing what other parents are doing, and then you begin to judge them, they begin to judge you. And you really have to let it go. It took me a long time. It took me about a year to let it go, to not judge other people or not be like, why are they doing this? Like, this makes no sense. And it's just hard. But at the same time, like, I don't know.
And look, I'm for holistic wellness too. Like, absolutely. Like, let's, not everything has to be treated. I'm not saying that everything has to be treated by a prescription. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely let's explore the whole gamut. I'm just, at the end of the day, my big point here is that I'm trusting the science and the doctors over the influencers.
Well, here, let me give you an out.
Yeah.
For you/Discover tabs.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing to me. I think that if you go on Twitter right now, I know Randy can agree with me here. What's your For You tab looking like on Twitter right now?
I don't even know. I didn't know there's a difference. I'm never on Twitter. So
you told me at one point that yours was the same as mine. It's like you log in and it's like the most right-wing shit followed by the most left-wing shit, followed by like possibly QAnon stuff, followed by possibly like Illuminati stuff. And then then a couple tweets from the actual people that I follow. And I'm like, everything is so a lot on Twitter, but it's a whole different world on Instagram. Like on Instagram, I feel like you're just getting served the same things that everyone else is being served. You're just seeing it 3 weeks later.
Right.
It's like I click into something on Discover feed and it's like 3 weeks old. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm on here to get like an immediate hit. I don't really care. But like, I just think people get too lost in it. And that's what you end up either doom scrolling or brain rot, whatever you want to call it. And if you can get that out of your life and you can cure, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be on your phone scrolling. Like I do it all the time and my life is benefited by people doing it. But I really think that people in life would be well served by curating the people they follow way more than they currently are, instead of letting them find you. And I think it would naturally make people happier online. It would naturally make people spend less time online and whatever. And I just think that like, just not everything on the For You page is something that we need to get brought up at a group dinner or anything like that.
I might need to turn off the thing where Instagram is constantly suggesting that the threads, because threads has become an absolute like rage bait engagement hacking cesspool.
I don't go there.
That in a different way than Twitter, but in a similarly egregious way. It's
Sunday Scaries.
It's bad.
As someone who never uses threads, never use it. Sunday Scaries has 161,000 followers on Threads. Like I could probably weaponize that in some way. I could probably do something with that, and I have no desire to even get on Threads. Yeah. But like I'm not on TikTok anymore, which is not some big thing. I just once it got banned, I decided to delete the app, and I haven't re-downloaded it because whatever. You guys got to log off a little bit, or just like it's kind of the same thing that I had with ChatGPT. Yeah. Like remember to use your own brain when you're online. Just don't rely on everything else. Don't rely on things getting served to you. Get off your Discover feed. Get off your For You tab.
Will, give me your last out, and then we'll hit my last in, and we'll wrap this thing up.
I'm so fucking sick of seeing these offline as the new luxury mugs. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't. I've not seen
Google
these.
it. Google it right now. I swear to God, I'm so sick of these, dude. It's a written in pen, offline is the new luxury.
Okay.
And I am getting served this a million times.
I'm seeing it.
And I'm sorry, whoever's making these fucking mugs, you're selling them all online. Like this is hypocritical. This is as hypocritical as someone saying they will only eat ceviche on the coast and then they'll eat shrimp cocktails in Austin, Texas. But I am just sick of it. You're not cool because you're offline.
Are you seeing people? Are they trying to sell you these, or are you seeing people post with these?
No, my Discover feed is just giving me these all the time. And it's been happening for so long at this point. Just any little phrase like this, I'm just over it. It's just stupid to me. It's not being offline. It's not a luxury. No one's forcing you to not be online.
It's true.
No one's forcing you to be online. Yeah, it's not a luxury to be offline. Like you're just not online.
Doesn't cost anything.
And I'm just sick of it. Like they're selling these mugs on websites. Like you're online. You're like, I'm getting ads for them. Like it's just, we're eating ourselves here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just sick of the phrase. It's clearly reached me too many times.
Okay. To close it up, here's my last in. John Hamm as the platonic ideal of man. You know, we spent a lot of time on this podcast gassing up our baby girls and our Jacob Elordi's and our Pedro Pascals. And who did we just add to the watch list last week?
Theo James.
Yes, thank you. You know, but John Hamm, he's just built different. You know, he's look, I'm not breaking any news here. This guy was the peak of the American male not 10, 15 years ago as Don Draper on Mad Men, and everybody wanted to be him, right?
He was.
But 10 years older, he's starring on Your Friends and Neighbors on Apple TV, show I'm really enjoying, even though I would say it's good, not great. And I just like the ethos that he brings. He's handsome, but he's weather worn. This guy's, you know, John Hamm himself is like going to sporting events and baseball games, but looks amazing when he cleans up in his suit. He's just got he's just got it for me right now. And he's I don't know. There's something about what he puts out that feels aspirational in a more approachable way than than some of the guys that we usually talk about on this podcast.
For me, John Hamm too is in the same vein as Chris Hemsworth and Liam Neeson, where they came out as like, it's like good looking, like kind of serious, badass guys. And then you find out they're pretty funny, yes. Comical actors too.
Yeah.
Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Like Daniel Craig for me is the same as John Hamm, where like my first exposure to Daniel Craig was James Bond. Mm-hmm. First exposure to John Hamm, Don Draper. Two straight-laced dudes, serious, hardcore.
Yeah.
And then like the second you see them in something else, you're like, wait, you're fucking hilarious. Like this is great.
Yeah.
I guess no, that doesn't work. Bryan Cranston had shades of that for me between Walter White and other characters, but like I was also rocking with Malcolm in the Middle, so I knew he had the chops.
Yeah, that was the reverse of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And John Hamm still at the end of the day is like what I think women would rate him as one of the most handsome men. Like, you know,
Sally lived my dream, and she sat next to John Hamm and John Slattery at an outdoor lunch in LA one time.
Wow.
And I was just like, and like you didn't like I would have begged them to get in a convertible with him and drive anywhere.
But again, this list is filled with both personal and recency bias. But that's who I've got on the mood board right now. Will, it's John Hamm.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Well, this was a loaded episode, Barrett. Well, if it's our last episode before you have a child,
we got our time's worth.
We got our time's worth. Whether or not it's this week or next week or the week after or who knows. I wish you the best, Barrett.
Thank you.
Fatherhood is one of the most fulfilling things you could ever have, despite all the complaining that us dads do.
Ditto.
You know what? Ditto.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. And then
do y'all have a name picked out, right?
We do.
You haven't told anyone the name, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody the name. Like, does your mom know the name?
No.
Okay.
That's mostly who we're keeping it from is the moms. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Hey, this is blank.
But I also, and then I can't wait to get back in the studio with a whole new perspective on shit.
Next week, we should have a different style episode. So there should be an episode next week, but it'll probably be an interview featuring me and 2 other people. And so barring that falling through or getting rescheduled, that should occur. If not, I'll send out a newsletter to everybody and let y'all know. But other than that, I think we can get out of here.